Okay guys, so we are on page 18, last page of your packet. And these are types of problems that you would find on the PSAT. Now this year we're supposed to be taking that PSAT and SAT this week on Wednesday, Tuesday. But obviously since we're still not back in school, we're not taking it. But I still wanted us to have some problems that are similar to ones you would find on the PSAT and show you how you could do them using the methods we just learned in this chapter. Okay, so the first thing I want you to recognize is on question 1. If 6a plus 6b equals 30, so that's equation number 1. And then they also give you 3a plus 2b equals 14. So they give you two equations. So anytime you're given two equations, anytime, I don't know why that's doing it. What's happening? You're given two equations. Sorry about that. Let's rewrite that. That looked bad. Anytime you're given two equations, it is a system. And in order to solve your system, you have a few things you can do, right? We've talked in this chapter. You can graph it, but these are not in y equals mx plus b. So graphing, not going to work. You can do substitution with the big T chart and subbing in. But again, neither one of these is y equals, so that's going to be pretty hard. So option 3 would be to do elimination. And that's the last method we did, which I think is going to work well for this one. So let's write these out as elimination. 6a plus 6b equals 30. And then I write equation number 2 underneath it. 3a plus 2b equals 14. Now let's see what we could multiply by in order to make these cancel out. And so I think I could multiply this bottom one by -2, because -2 times 3 would give me -6a, and then those would cancel. So let's distribute that. We'll get -6a minus 4b. -2 times 14 is -28. I'm going to rewrite this orange equation and bring it back down. 6a plus 6b equals 30. And now, ta-da! The a's eliminate. -4b plus 6b is 2b. -28 plus 30 is 2. When I divide by 2, I get b equals 1. So that helps at least narrow down. It's got to be either b or a. But I'm not done. I still have to take that and plug it back in. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and plug that back in. And now I would have 6a plus 6 times 1 equals 30. And when I go to solve this, 6a equals 24, divide by 6, a equals 4. So my final answer would be B and not D. Okay? But that just tells you, right, how you find your answers. So it's just simply using a system, right? Anytime you see two equations, it's a system. 3 choices: graph, substitution, or elimination, okay? Depending on the different equations that you're given. Okay, so I'm just going to erase some of this so we have some space. And let's look at the next question. This one says, based on the given system of equations, what is the product of x, y? Product means multiply. So SAT does this a lot. They'll ask you to solve a system. Look, I've got 2 equations. It's a system. I'm probably going to use elimination on this one because they're in that correct format. But then once I find out my x and I find out my y, it wants me to multiply them together to get my final answer as one of those 4 choices. Okay, so let's see what we would do. I would probably, I don't know, you could do a couple things. You could multiply the top by -4, but since I see a positive and a negative here, I'm just going to multiply the bottom by 2, and then the y's will cancel. So I'll have x plus 8y equals 4. After I distribute that 2 to everything, right, my y's cancel. I'll now have 9x equals 18, divide by 9, and x equals 2. But I'm not done yet because I still have to find y so that then I can multiply them together. So take my 2, plug it back in. I'm using that top equation. Minus 2, 8y equals 2, divide by 8. That's a decimal or a fraction, so y is 1/4. So now again, it's asking me here to now multiply x and y together because it asked for the product. So I have to take my x, which was 2, and I need to multiply it with my y, which was 1/4. And when I multiply 2 times 1/4, I get 1/2. And so my answer choice is C, 1/2. Okay? But again, similar things. I want you guys to try. I'll give you some hints. Let me erase and you guys can see this now. Oops, went too far. I want you guys to try number 3. It's very similar. Okay, you've got one equation, another equation. So there's your system. I would probably use elimination since they're in that format. But then look what it's asking. What's the value of b plus c? So just like the last one asked us to multiply, right? X times y here. It was x times y. It asked for the product. This one's now asking you to add them together. So once you find your b and your c for your ordered pair, then you're going to take those two numbers and add them together. And then whatever you get there, that'll be your final answer. Okay? I want you to try that one. For number 4 and 5, you're going to try these as well. Number 4, we've got 2 equations, but I want you to notice because this first equation is y equals, it's probably going to be easier to use substitution. Remember, substitution is one where you do the t and you substitute into the other equation, this whole part, right? Substitute it in and then solve. It's probably going to be easier because it's in that format, okay? And then you'll find out which one your answer is. For question 5, same idea. You've got a system of equations. This one's pretty easy because look, your y's cancel right away. So I would definitely do elimination. But then look, it's not asking for x or y, it's asking what is the value of x plus y. So again, once you find your x and your y, take those two numbers and add them together to get your final answer. Okay? Once you're done, check your answers on Schoology and then upload this so that I can see all your work. Good luck.